Well, it's another year and another draft. The draft 2025. We are doing a Roto Hackers League draft. Some of the guys join us today. Hopefully, it's Jared and Jay Herschel, the kid, will be joining. Looks like I have unstable connection right now. But let me get the draft up here. In the meantime, let's play the draft music. Do I have it? Never mind. Well, I'll just play this one.
Judah eats crow.
Okay, let's see. Yahoo Fantasy Football. So the draft has already been going. So far, I have Ashton Genty, Josh Jacobs, James Cook, Kenneth Walker III. I've got 4 running backs. Partly that is a mistake because I auto drafted James Cook. I didn't realize it. And it's my turn. And I'm going to go with Ridley. I have so much Ridley this year. Nope. Maybe not. Who did it pick for me? Didn't get to it in time. Oh, okay. I took Ridley from me. Looks like. Did it? No. It took Jameson Williams. My dog wants to be part of the show. No, Elvis. Not right now. Not right now. Let's see. Let's get this. Unfortunately, I have to do it on my crappy computer because my son is doing his homework. Oh, we got Jared.
We do.
Where are you? Are you up?
Yeah, can you see me?
Yeah. Sorry, my computer's like super slow. It's like from the early 2000s. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm good.
How's your draft looking so far? I didn't see who do you have so far?
I like my team. I've got the J squad, which is on brand. So
You have what?
I said I have the J squad, which of course is on brand for me. So I've got Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jonathan Taylor, and then to break up the J's, I have Tyreek Hill.
I like Njigba this year. I have a lot of him in other leagues as well.
Yeah, I think.
What is your thought? What are your thoughts for him?
I like it. I mean, I think Sam Darnold's a guy who. Hang on, I got to make my pick. Give me just a minute.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I think Sam Darnold's going to be adequate, and Njigba is going to take another leap this year. He's going to be, if they're going to have any offense, it's going to go through mostly him. I think Walker will be integral in their offense, but Njigba is going to have to take it. He's going to have to take on a lot of the offensive. He's going to have to carry them offensively.
Yeah, I could foresee that happening.
I was telling you guys in the chat that I have a ton of Genty. It's funny because I remember we were watching the NFL draft and you were saying he's going to go in the first round. I was like, really? First round? But
oh, I think we were saying. I think I was saying like because the rumor was like he wouldn't go. Where was the rumor? Like that he might even go to Jacksonville or something like that, and then he went to what did the Raiders have? The like 6th pick or something. I don't remember the order, but he like basically he went. Let's see. I gotta look this up because he went like 6 or 7, I think. 6. Yeah. So the rumor was, I think the rumor was Jacksonville might take him, and then they traded with Cleveland, and then he fell to the Raiders because because everybody was saying like he was not going to go past. I think maybe the Raiders too or something. So.
well, your sound just got a lot better. Can you hear me? Oh, now I can't hear you at all. Your sound went from really good to gone. Well, all right. So far, it looks like the consensus first round draft. I mean, a first draft, like the first 5 have been wide. A lot of them were wide receivers. Well, except for Robinson, Bijan Robinson, and let's see here, and who else has been in the top 5? Who went top 5 this round? My computer is being super slow. Oh, he's back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Real well.
Okay. Yeah, it was doing something weird with my phone. Where my phone was trying to like take over the I don't know, who knows. Didn't lose me again, did you? I think part of it's a bad connection. I think I'm just on sketchy Wi-Fi. So
yeah, so am I. I just realized I'm on the wrong Wi-Fi too. So anyway, who you finding you have a lot of? Is this a typical draft for you? No, because you usually do a auction draft.
I do, yeah. So yeah, I mean, kind of looking through my rosters of who all I have. I think I can probably tell you without looking, but I'm gonna look just to see. Who do I have a lot of? So I have a good bit of AJ Brown. Like he just seems like a value. For like he's kind of in this second tier of receivers, but I mean, you can usually get him between like 33, 34 bucks and like 38 or something like that. And you know, he was hurt a little bit last year. But man, I mean, you project his numbers out over a whole season and you know, I mean, he's still a stud. So I have a good bit of him. I have a good bit of Brian Thomas because Brian Thomas is another guy who
he really fell in the ADP.
Yeah, and I think there's some potential reasons for that, and they may be legitimate reasons. I think you know he did pretty well with last year. Okay, all right, hang on, my pick's up again.
Was that? No, it's my turn.
Oh, sorry, it's yours. Sorry, yeah, I heard the sound. I heard your sound.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So keep going.
Yeah. So I ended up with a good bit of Brian Thomas. I think there's some legitimate reasons why he's fallen in the draft a little bit. Trevor Lawrence didn't seem to have maybe the best connection with him. Really, strangely enough, I think like Mac Jones did a lot better with him with Lawrence hurt most of the year. I'm hoping that with the guy going over from Tampa, their former offensive coordinator, to be the Jaguars head coach, hoping that that is really going to help spark that offense. And I mean, Brian Thomas has the talent for sure. So,
How much of it do you think was the Hunter coming over? The rookie, what's his name?
Yeah, Travis Hunter. Yeah.
Travis Hunter.
I think it's possible that, I mean, I think that gives him a good number 2 option. I mean,
My turn again. Sorry.
It's okay. I mean, if you look like that offense is not like loaded with weapons. I mean, you think about like they've kind of got running back by committee. They don't have a stud tight end. They don't have, 3 or 4 star receivers. So I'm hoping, if anything, Travis Hunter's just, I mean, he's a different type of player, I think. And so I'm hoping they're going to be kind of complementary to each other. You never know for sure, but I think that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll just kind of have to wait and see,
yeah.
But
the last report we got was that they're going to limit his snaps. He's actually going to play a lot on defense, but they said 55 catches is what they said. I can't remember if that was 55. Is that 55 all year? Average 55? Yeah, the year. Which
I'm not sure. The last thing I saw was a little bit more generous as to what he was going to be getting, but I mean, you never know. It's we'll see what it actually works out. But I think he's going to play mostly on offense and some on defense, which is actually kind of the opposite of what they thought it was going to be. Or I don't know. I mean, again, this is just kind of the most recent thing I've read, and nobody, I'm sure, really is going to know until we see. But I think initially people were saying like, well, he'll probably just play defensive snaps, like pretty much be on the field for defense the whole time, and then he'll play offensive packages. And what I saw most recently was just like basically the opposite of that. Like he would be on the field for the offense, 75, 80% of the time, and then play in certain defensive packages. So, who knows? But I'm not concerned about him being a problem for Brian Thomas as much as I am just Trevor Lawrence. But again, I was willing to take a risk. So I got a lot of those. I did a good bit of Brock Bowers because I could do it in salary cap drafts, and I didn't have to use a second round pick on him. So I got a good bit of him. I got a good bit of Joe Burrow. Who else? I mean, because Burrow, he's getting taken as like a tier below like Lamar, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, even Jalen Hurts. And I understand he's not a running quarterback, and so those guys get a ton of points off that. But you think about all the weapons he has and how bad their defense is going to be, and they are just going to have to win games by like they're going to score 40 points in games and lose. So
there's going to be a lot of garbage time for him.
Yeah.
I think people's hope for him for fantasy is that they lose a lot, because if they're winning, I don't know. It's going to be through the running game. I think, really, slowing down the game, trying to do something because that defense is a sieve, and it could just be a dumpster fire, like I don't know. I don't have any confidence in that this year, mainly because of regression. I just feel like they did so well last year. Now, not winning, but just stats wise, they were off the charts. When I say they, I mean Burrow and Chase.
Yeah. Well,
and Chase Brown.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel pretty good about him scoring points. I think the biggest worry I have with him is just his health. If they're just coming after him all the time and he's throwing a bunch of times. But I mean, for where, like in salary cap drafts, I'm getting him for like $12-13. Lamar and Josh Allen are going for like 28, so it's just, again, salary cap is just a little bit different, or in some ways it's very different. And so it's just hard to turn him down for that price. And then kind of beyond that, I have a lot of sort of cheaper running backs. Like I tend to kind of try to get one guy in the few rounds. And then that's you again, right? Yeah. I try to get like a stud guy in the first few rounds. Like a Jonathan Taylor. I have a good bit of Jonathan Taylor too. Because I think that Indy offense is going to have to, go through him. And I think they can be solid with Daniel Jones. I hope at least enough to, like, I'm not saying win tons of games, but enough to get Jonathan Taylor his points. So I've got a good bit of Jonathan Taylor. And then I'll have a lot of just guys that are like Tyrone Tracy, DeAndre Swift, Jaylen Warren, just trying to basically stack a bunch of, like, lesser running backs and hope that they work out. So
they're calling this year. Maybe they've called it this for a while, but this is the first time I've heard them call it hero RB or something like that, where you take one big RB at the beginning and just kind of wait on lesser RBs later.
Right. Yeah. J.K. Dobbins, I've got him in several leagues. Just took him now here a little while ago.
He's great. Even if you're doing snake, he's just really cheap price for a starting running back.
Right. And I mean, everyone's assuming it's going to be RJ Harvey. I think it is. It might be, but I think it is very dangerous to assume anything with Sean Payton, and he likes to spread the ball around. And for the value, I really like. I would be afraid to kind of take RJ Harvey. I mean, he's slipped a little bit from where he was going. But still, Harvey. Harvey. But I still like the value of J.K. Dobbins. And who knows? I could be completely wrong. It may be like 85% RJ Harvey. But
well, the thing I think about is, remember when Kamara came along? I mean, he was fantastic for the team. He was used a lot by what's his name, the coach, but that was when he was back with the Saints. What was the coach's name again? He just mentioned
Sean Payton.
Yeah. So Payton used him, but for fantasy, he actually didn't pop till the second year. Or at the end of the first year, he did really well, but Payton does like using his running backs, but he gives respect to the veterans,
He does. Yeah. A rookie coming in, I think as long as J.K. Dobbins stays healthy, and that's been an issue for him.
Yeah.
I think there's a pretty good chance it's going to be some kind of split there.
And it's not too hard to get Harvey and Dobbins.
Right. Right.
They're both pretty cheap, which is kind of amazing. One of them's going to really, or both of them might even do really well. Although, all right, well, I say that. But on the other hand, the Saints just might not score at all this year. So
Right. That's a possibility. Yeah, I don't know what the Saints are going to look like.
do you believe that that doing this fail for Arch or whatever it's called?
I don't think they're failing for Arch.
Or there's got to be a better. What's the real thing is like?
Well, there were different ones. Like, there was I can't remember what the thing is for Arch, but when Andrew Luck came out, it was suck for luck.
Yeah.
So I think next year is a great quarterback draft, so I don't think they're probably targeting one guy specifically, but I think it does pay to be, able to draft at the top of that draft and get someone. And I don't know about Arch Manning. People keep assuming that he's going to be elite because they're like, oh, well, his grandpa was good and his uncles were good. And
Yeah.
he's really had one good game. He really lit it up against Mississippi State, and then had another okay game, and then that's really been it.
He had a terrible game this last game, right? Like one touchdown.
Awful. He was awful against Ohio State. And granted, Ohio State's great. It's the first game of the year. You're on the road. But man, his mechanics look bad. So, and there's just so much. I feel bad for him in a way. There's so much pressure there. You're playing for Texas. You're playing for the number one. You're just this, third generation quarterback of these elite Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. So I don't know if that's part of it. But, people have just anointed him, that he is just incredible. And the ability may be there, but we haven't really seen it executed other than one game against a mediocre team,
Yeah. Yeah, I do get that sinking feeling in my stomach that that there's not a lot of bona fides behind or talent behind all these accolades that people are just putting around his neck because of his pedigree.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's very premature, but we'll see.
Well, what about in the later rounds? This is where it's been really difficult for me. I guess it always is for everybody, but you get down into, the 10th, 9th, basically it's the 7th through the 15th round, 16th
Right.
round. So in snake draft, for you, it would be like what it would be a dollar amount, right? It'd be like the $6 to $10 range or something like that.
Oh, it'd be even lower than that usually. Yeah. When you get down to the bottom, usually you're spending $1, $2, $3 on players. Maybe you've saved some where you can spend, 7, 8, 9 on that one guy that's there. But for the most part, yeah, you're spending anywhere from $1 to $3 on those.
Well, I've finally taught my youth group, the guys in my youth group, my kids, to wait on quarterback, or to not get two quarterbacks at least. And what I'm finding is you get down to these rounds and it's just stock full with quarterbacks.
Right.
It's kind of sad. You look now, it's like J.J. McCarthy, Stroud, some of these guys, Trevor Lawrence, that, days past would have already been gone by now.
Right. Yeah. And it's, it's really, you never know what's going to happen from year to year, and just looking at it there. Yeah. CJ Stroud is there. After his rookie year, I think Stroud was typically going maybe like 7th quarterback off the board. And
Yeah.
then he just did not look as good in 2024. Trevor Lawrence, number 1 overall pick, just expected to be this elite talent. No, people are no longer expecting him to do much. And, who knows, again, with that new head coach, maybe he does. But yeah, you've got, and then, McCarthy. McCarthy, we have no idea what we're going to get out of him. He's in a great offense, but he's a rookie, and I mean, he's, for all these quarterbacks that have come out recently that are like older rookies, like a Bo Nix or Michael Penix. I mean, JJ McCarthy, I think, was 21, when he came out. So maybe now he's 22, I'm guessing, or maybe he's 23 going into the season. I'm probably 22. But I mean, you just wonder with that level of youth and experience, with as great of a coach and an offense as he has, like, how much can you trust him? And they have a good defense, and he's in a very tough division. I mean, you look at that division. I mean, as a Packers fan, you've got the Lions, the Bears, the Packers, the Vikings. Like, which one of those teams is going to be a weak team? So
all very good defenses. Yeah.
Right.
Packers now that they have help me from
Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons.
I mean, they're going to be pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Bears have always had really good pass rush line. I mean, yeah, he's going to be facing a lot of good defenses.
Yeah.
But I just look. It's my turn to draft, and like the best I could do, because how many tight ends can you get? I'm just loading up on. Well, I guess I don't know who it picks for me. I guess it picked a tight end. Oh, it got me McCarthy. Thank you.
Draft.
Yeah. Hey, why not? Back up. But it just feels so garbagey down here. Like Keenan Allen could be, I think Keenan Allen, Ray Davis. I think Ray Davis is going to start for at first.
Yeah.
Or not start. Who Cook ahead of him? He's going to not
Cook,
start,
yeah.
but he's going to have he's going to have a lot of time. He's going to have a couple touchdowns. Keenan Allen, I think he still has a little juice in the tank. He's going back to his old team. But, I mean, a lot of these people on IR are injured, are just a ton of, like, Penix.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing as J.J. McCarthy,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, when you get down to these rounds, I mean, in 10-team drafts, it's funny to me to see the difference between, like, 10-team drafts and 12-team drafts because, like, usually when I get to the end of a snake draft in 10-team, I'm like seeing like multiple players that I wish I had roster spots for. But and then also in those leagues, the lineups are different, and like in this league, we don't have a defense, we don't have a kicker, and all that. So you have to have those. So it's different there. But then here, yeah, exactly. What you're saying is true. Like I'm just sitting here looking like, okay, these last couple of picks, like who do I take? Like maybe I, just get a backup quarterback for the hell of it. But
honestly, I'd rather have Cam Ward than McCarthy or Penix. I mean, if I'm gonna roll the dice, might as well go with some like, boomer bust type quarterback.
Right. Yeah. No, I like the McCarthy pick. I mean, again, he's in an offense that's just stacked. I mean, Jordan Addison is going to miss some time, but they got Adam Thielen back. You got Justin Jefferson. You got TJ Hawkinson. You got two good running backs. Great play caller. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I think he's a guy that's worth taking a shot on.
You know who I noticed? Cedric Tillman. When I go back and look at teams, Yahoo has him slated for projected for like 11 to 12 points, I think, depending on your league, half point PPR.
Yeah,
I thought that was odd. Why? And he is kind of. I mean, he is someone that stands out here. What? Do you know anything about Cedric Tillman?
yeah, I've seen some people that really like him. I haven't really read into it because this is really the only draft I have where I felt like it was probably deep enough to consider taking him.
Okay.
I think, Jerry Judy's that number one in that offense. Njoku might either be 2 or just kind of on par with Tillman as 2. Their quarterback situation, is it going to be Joe Flacco for a while? Is it going to be Dylan Gabriel? Is it going to be Shedeur Sanders? Cleveland has for a long time been a run first team. So I haven't.
Who's their running back?
Right. So right now it's going to be a split of Jerome Ford and Dylan Sampson. There's a rumor that supposedly Quinshon Judkins may finally get signed within the next week or so. He was their early second round pick this year. He had legal allegations against him, and then they were having trouble.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, they were having trouble coming to an agreement on a contract anyway. So we'll see if that happens with him, or if it's like Samson.
I think they're gonna come up with some kind of a.
You would think.
But even if they do, he hasn't been in any practice, any preseason, nothing, right?
No, not really. And at the same time, the one position that maybe you can kind of get away with that is running back. You need to know you need to be a good fundamental blocker, and of course you need to know your assignments and stuff. But I'm sure they could, if he gets signed, then either by week 1 or week 2, they get him some snaps, and then a few weeks in, get him up to speed. But again, there's that's not guaranteed. So
yeah.
So yeah, and we've kind of it is funny to see what happens with fantasy too, where in both fantasy and the real NFL, running backs have been getting devalued like year by year. Who cares about running backs? Blah blah blah. Well, and then last year, Saquon Barkley just destroys people. In both fantasy and the NFL. And so now he's back to the top. Bijan Robinson's there. Jahmyr Gibbs. So, now you're back to a point where usually like the second, third, and fourth picks are running backs, after we got to a point, and then, Ashton Janty's in there, usually somewhere like 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I have just never seen it where 2 years in a row, wide receivers, the top wide receivers are the top wide receivers again the next year.
Right.
I don't know what it is about wide receivers, but it's a volatile place for, it's a volatile top, for production. You would think that it would be consistent, but I'm really scared of taking a wide receiver early.
Yeah, I would be really scared. Like, I have not drafted Jamar Chase. Well, I'm trying to think what I drafted him. So I've not drafted him in any salary cap leagues because you're having to pay like $65 or more.
He's expensive, yeah. First round, number 1, yeah.
Right. So I have not taken him in any of those really. I have taken him. I've done some best ball drafts where I ended up with the first pick and took him. And I think that's kind of a tough spot in a way because, his numbers, were just so ridiculous last year that it's hard to justify not taking him. But yeah, in salary cap drafts, it's one of those things where I'm just like, I can't pay $65 for a guy when it's as volatile, like you say. And I mean, it makes some sense when you think about it. I mean, you think like your receivers are entirely dependent on the quarterback. So, if Joe Burrow gets hurt or Dak Prescott gets hurt, then, Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb go from number one to potentially like how far could they, drop in production? And then, I think part of it's just luck. I mean, when you've got to have that timing right between them and, for them to get open and to not get double covered and all this stuff. And so I think, with receivers, unless you're like a little possession receiver or a guy like Tyreek Hill, who, you get the ball and you run, or a Jackson Smith, if you're a deep ball guy, I think if you think about it, there's a lot of variables that can be if they're just off a little bit from year to year and you're not quite as lucky, it can be a big swing in production, Oh, apparently Judah's bad connection finally got the best of him. So let's see, we are down to, what do we got? Oh, I guess our draft is complete. So while he's making his way back, which I assume he will be, I will take a look at my team and we'll talk.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
I got kicked off the internet. I had Woody Marks up. I did want to talk about Woody Marks. I mean, This is kind of it's the, it's kind of the buzz right now is doesn't look like any of the running backs. Well, Chubb is the only one who looks like is a viable option ahead of him, who also doesn't look like he's completely well. What do you think about Woody Marks? Do you think that Chubb is going to just surprise everybody and just be fine and be the workhorse that they need him to be? Or is Woody Marks their secret weapon who's going to be a league changer, a game changer for a lot of fantasy players?
Well, I don't think it's an either or there. Do I think Nick Chubb's going to be great? Nope. Do I think that means necessarily Woody Marks is going to be? Nope, not that either. Like that is like you think about all the volatile situations out there. Houston has to be the single most volatile because Joe Mixon, when's he going to come back? Maybe week 5, maybe not at all. Nick Chubb, they might go with him because he's, this tried and true option, or he might be cut after week 1. You've got, I think you still have Dameon Pierce there. I think
he's hurt too.
He may be, but he's still on the team, I think.
Yeah.
Let's look and see. And then Marks. So, man, I just want nothing to do with that Texans. I mean, if you're taking a flyer on the guy in the last, round or two, or you get him for $1 in a salary cap draft, sure. But
I've been taking him off the waiver wire.
I mean, if you're in a deeper league, I think it depends. I mean, I think for me, there's just guys that I would rather have on my bench to have a roster spot than him. But I mean, in a league like this, I think it makes sense. By the way, I forget, like our schedule never changes year to year in this league. And so it's always me and you week 1.
Are we playing each other again?
We're playing each other because I think maybe you don't have some setting set up to where the schedule changes. So I think we just keep the same schedule every year.
Oh, I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, I kind of like it.
Well, I mean, based on your record against me, I think maybe it's good for me. I don't know if it's good for you.
I don't know. I'm kind of liking my team this year.
I like mine too. Let's see. Let me check yours out.
All right.
See, yeah. So look at mine and see what you think of yours, or see what you think of mine.
Okay, yeah, I was trying to bring it up, but my stupid internet's not working very well over here.
Yeah, you
Let's
definitely got running backs. You're definitely
I am
you are
stacked with
you
running.
are stacked at running back. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to trade for trade two decent running backs. I finally got Golden. I've been trying to get Golden every draft. I don't know why it is. Just something the way I've been drafting because I only do snake drafts. I haven't been able to get Golden. I'm really excited about him this year, and being a Packers fan, it's nice to be excited about a Packers wide receiver for once.
Yeah. He's one of those guys. It's funny, like you mentioned Janty and Golden. I think I have Golden maybe on one team, and I have no stock in Janty. And I should probably have taken him in some. Um, but his price just started getting a little bit higher. I don't know, just rookie running backs for a first round pick, they scare me a little bit. Um, the Raiders offense scares me. Their line scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think part of that what happened was the year. I guess now this was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Bijan Robinson came out.
That's Hunter.
I kind of bought into the Bijan Robinson hype, and then it was like splitting with Tyler Algier the whole time. Like, what are we doing? So
Yeah.
that and I don't think that's going to happen to Genty. I mean, it's more like my fear of their line, I think, than anything else, and we'll see.
Well, to me, it's another example of. I think he could easily be another. I guess I was thinking about Elliott, but Elliott came into a really good line. I think it does make a difference. I think your comparison to Robinson's actually pretty apt, except that he did have. I'm trying to remember when Robinson came in. Who were the wide receivers? And who it was?
Well, the Falcons. I mean, the biggest thing with Robinson, and again, this is not a fair comparison to Genty. Arthur Smith, who's now offensive coordinator for the Steelers, was head coach of the Falcons at the time. And he's just a weird guy in some ways. And he was just insistent on splitting carries between Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier.
Well, in his defense, Algier is a decent back. I mean, he's a
right
workhorse.
He is, but I mean, when you've got a guy as electric as Bijan Robinson, but at the same time, I mean, we've seen that on, I mean, you look at Detroit, like it took until last year for Jahmyr Gibbs to break out. Yeah. And that was that either his second or third year?
No, it's the second year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what makes me wonder. I took a lot of Montgomery. Do you think Montgomery is cooked this year? Because last year it was like the next step, and now he's just going to be sort of filling in, and it's Gibbs's year.
So what scares me, again, this is another one where I'm worried about it, but not really for that reason. Like, what scares me about them is losing Ben Johnson to Chicago.
So their offense is going to suffer.
They lost both their coordinators. What's his name? Who went to the Jets? Was it Aaron Glenn?
The wrong guy.
I mean, so I like what Ben Johnson can potentially do for the Bears. I think guys like Rome Odunze, and Caleb Williams could be. I've drafted a good bit of Caleb Williams as my backup quarterback, because I think those guys could take a step. The Lions scare me. Basically, drafting any Lions at their price, other than maybe Gibbs, really scares me because, again, you look at all the weapons there: Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams,
Yeah.
Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs.
I'm fading Amon-Ra St. Brown completely. Like after watching him last year, I don't think I had very much of him. I don't know if I had any of him, but a couple of my kids had him, and so I was watching their teams. And I was like, I told them to draft him, right, because he was an elite wide receiver, and they were like, "Dad, this guy sucks."
Well, I don't think he sucks, but I think
he's a very talented player,
mm-hmm.
but their offense is not geared around him.
Well, they have a lot of options. They have a lot of options. Jamison Williams got a lot more involved with that deep ball. And then you had Laporta, who his rookie year, amazing. And then last year I drafted too much of him and was burned. And I'm really hoping that I don't have that happen with Brock Bowers this year. I don't think it will, because who else are the Raiders going to throw the ball to? Jacoby Myers. But so I don't think that can really happen as much there. I think Laporta is just kind of a victim of being on a good team.
Was he injured too or something at the beginning of the year?
He may have been. That sounds right.
Yeah.
And then the other thing about the Lions, about going back specifically to your question about Montgomery, is I think they lost 2 interior linemen.
Ooh, that's not good.
And that's his game. His game is between the tackles.
Yes.
So I'll have to double check that, but
that scares me.
Yeah. And so because
Gibbs can get it. Now Montgomery also Montgomery is a decent pass catcher, isn't he? He's with the Bears.
Right. I mean, he wasn't.
His role, though, with the Lions was they put him in for the short yardage between tackles, right?
Right. I mean, he's not like a power, can't catch a ball type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But he can catch it. I'm just looking up to see what his stats were on passes. And okay, so again, we'll see what the Ben Johnson effect is, but what people are worried about, and I think again, this is something you kind of have to worry about for all the Lions versus what people are saying is, like, basically, with the Lions, he got double-digit touchdowns, and so he had like 13 touchdowns in 23, 12 in 24. And by the way, that's just playing 14 games. He missed a few games each season. But with Chicago, he was getting like 5, 6, 7 on basically the same number of carries. But I mean, again, that's a little bit, that's not exactly apples to apples, because I mean, he was with a different team. So I mean, people are just assuming that without Ben Johnson, it's gonna tank, but you don't know that for sure.
Well, that brings me to my next question. The other quandary I have when it comes to running backs, because there's sort of these like not quite upper tier, but sort of that next tier would be Swift. Who's backing Swift up? Is it going to be Roschon? I'm not sure, because Swift always gets hurt, and it's funny because him and Montgomery switched places.
Right. Yeah. I think it is Roschon. I'm just looking at their depth chart. So it's Roschon. He's like, here's their depth chart: DeAndre Swift, Roschon Johnson listed as questionable, Kyle, I don't know how to pronounce this last name, Manaji, questionable. Fourth on the depth chart is Travis Homer, who's on IR. You know what they're probably going to be doing if DeAndre Swift gets hurt is going to the waiver wire or making a trade, because that is a sketchy running back room.
I mean, especially since Swift, I don't know that he's ever gone through a whole season without getting hurt. He's that kind of guy. He's very physical, but not very durable. He's not like a real muscly guy. He's more of a scat bat that likes to get physical. And that's why he always gets hurt.
Yeah, he was now last season he managed to play 17 games, but I remember him being banged up, but he hadn't prior to that. I mean, even like going back to Georgia, like through his first 4 years.
And he's a year older.
And he's a year older, although still just, 26. So he's a young guy, but I mean, he was just so ineffective last year. So hopefully,
with Ben Johnson coming in, shoring up their line,
right?
He could be a good steal. I think you can get him like in the 4th round.
You can get him way past 4th round. I think you can probably get him. I think he's probably going like 7th normally.
Oh, wow.
I think that's a pretty good. I think that's a pretty good deal. I mean, I think the only thing is, again, one of the things working against him besides injuries is, just their schedule and their division, that they're in. So, so he's got, he starts out with the Vikings and then he gets the Lions.
Two tough defenses.
Right. And so not only does he have to play each of the NFC North teams twice, but then they've got then they're matched up against the AFC North, and so he's got to go up against the Ravens defense, the Steelers defense.
That's a tough schedule.
That is a tough schedule. So I think that's the knock on him. And let's see who else we got here. Sorry, that's preseason. They also have, as an out of conference opponent, they have the Eagles and Commanders. So he's got a rough schedule. So
I wonder if he would be like a real good guy to trade for, though. After the first couple of games, I think he's going to have a rough start.
Yeah.
And he might be a great guy to trade for. I just don't know if I trust him to make it through the season, excel through the season.
Yeah.
But whoever has him got him for like a low price. So they're going to be willing to trade him if he does really bad the first 2 games.
Potentially so. Yeah. I think you would, have to wait to see, but you could. A guy I like that's kind of in that same vein, and I haven't looked at his schedule to compare as much, but I took him in this league, and I've taken him in quite a few leagues, is Tyrone Tracy for the Giants.
Yeah.
Because I think the Giants have the potential to be better than what people are thinking. Like, I don't know if Jackson Dart is going to be the starter. I don't know if that's going to carry over.
Even if it's Wilson seems to be doing really well. He sort of seems to be back in his stride.
He can be capable enough. They've got Neighbors. Russ throws a deep ball, and
You've got
Neighbors,
a crew.
They can move the ball, and the thing that gets me with Tracy is in a landscape where you don't have a ton of guys who are just like unquestioned. He's the guy. He's the bell cow running back. I think Tyrone Tracy is going to be one of those guys. I'm not worried about Cam Scatabo getting a ton of carries. The stuff I've read about the Giants makes it seem like Tracy's going to be the guy, and Scatabo's more of a complimentary guy, which I think just makes sense. I don't think, he's really built to be, a lead running back or split carries or anything like that. So I think Tyrone Tracy, just on volume,
I completely agree with you.
Some potential.
And Scatabo is, he's one of these preseason heroes that you've been playing long enough that you and I know, and I'm more susceptible to it than you are. Is like you see the hype in preseason, and everybody goes out and gets them. They think they're getting a steal lower in the draft, and he ends up being a great pick for next year. Like if you're in a keeper league or something, that's great. But it doesn't really, or end of the season.
Right. Or end of the season. Yeah. What happens with me a lot of times is like, I don't hold on to a week, or I don't hold on to a guy a week long enough, or I pick up a guy a little bit too early and then drop him again. And then he, so just inevitably trying to time that out. That always ends up happening. Like there's a guy, who goes off like week 1 or week 2. And I've got a guy that I think like, I think he could be something, but I don't know. And then I drop him for the other guy. And then the other guy was just a flash in a pan. And then this guy, by week 5, is like a, league winner or something.
Exactly. Yeah. The guy I dropped because I just I needed it was bye weeks and I needed a spot on the roster. Yeah. Well, he's going. I mean, to your point, I really like this call here because Tyrone Tracy is going. Let's see, 67th. Huh?
Yeah, he's another 7th round guy.
Yeah,
he's kind of about the same.
Round, yeah,
around, he's like the same area as Swift. Like even in rankings, like usually a lot of times they're within a few of each other.
Yeah. And then before we go, last person, and I don't want to just talk about running backs. Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver. What are your thoughts? I am really hyped on him. I have a fair amount of him. About half my leagues I have some Ricky. Do you think it's just all hype, or because not only do I have a lot of Ricky Pearsall, I have a lot of Purdy, and I got burnt by Purdy last year, and it's this year is sort of an experiment for me as I go back to somebody who I desperately hate because he ruined my season last year. I'm just trying to be unemotional and more stats oriented. I see him having a good year this year with a full roster of, he's got McCaffrey back. He's got Ricky Pearsall. He's got a lot of these other guys. Of course, Kittle's back. What do you think about Ricky Pearsall, first of all?
Yeah, I do. I like Ricky Pearsall. I think he could be and I haven't watched him play enough to, I guess, know for sure that this is a decent comp, but he seems like, maybe there's some Cooper Kupp potential there. Maybe I'm just making that comparison because they're both white receivers. I don't know. Just being completely honest.
Yeah.
But a small sample size, but the last 2 games of the year, he did well. He had, over those last 2 games, he had 18 targets, and they were pretty even out, 8 targets and 10 targets. He had 6 catches in one game on those 8 targets, 8 catches on those 10 targets, a total of over, of actually 210 yards exactly combined, and 2 touchdowns. And so, Brandon Ayuk's going to be out for a while.
Didn't somebody else get fined or
I think Juwan Jennings is banged up. I don't know if he got fined. Okay. He could have. I don't know. I mean, I like him. I really like the value of where he is. So I think there's a lot of potential there. I wish I had more of him. I really didn't pay close enough attention to kind of what he did over those last couple of games last year. I didn't pay attention to that early enough in my drafts to try to take more of him. Mm-hmm. But so I think there's potential there. There's some iffiness too in terms of you've got George Kittle. They love to throw the ball to Christian McCaffrey.
They love to throw the ball to Christian McCaffrey. They love to pass, hand off the ball to him. It may just be
or let him throw sometimes. So it would be hard for me to see Pearsall just being just this stud that like he finishes as a top 10 receiver or something. But I think for the value there, yeah, I think I wish I had a lot of shares of him for the value.
Well, I know that I said that was going to be my last one. It
No,
has
I'm-
been an hour.
I'm
I
good.
do
I'm
have
on.
to go.
I'm on. I don't even know if I'm on Pacific or Mountain Time. I'm on one or the other. I'm in Salt Lake City, so I don't know what time
Oh,
zone this is.
okay.
But it's either way. I think like at the most it's like a little 1:15. So I'm good. I know you're on East Coast time, so
Yeah.
you're the one who's needing to go to bed.
I've got to go soon. Yeah, but I do want your thoughts on Purdy. I mean, it's selfish because I have almost all my leagues Purdy starting, including this one.
Wow.
So I really did just decide. I made a decision not to go with my emotions because he ruined almost. I had a lot of him last year, and he ruined. It was in the. I think it was like week 15. He had 0 points or like 2 points or something, or negative 2 points or something like that,
Yeah.
and just crushed me. But this year, I feel like things are better for them, and I don't know. He was a decent price. In some of the leagues he was a keeper. I just decided instead of trashing him, what do they call it? Rage dropping him.
Rage dropping. Yeah. I think
I just decided, okay, I'm gonna just be a mature adult and go with them again.
So I will say I think Brock Purdy's fine and this is not going to probably be what you want to hear, but I think he's fine in a 2-quarterback league. I think he's fine in like a deeper league where, maybe a 12-team league, something like that, and you want to get a value from the quarterback. I think if we look back at, what he did 2 years ago, so he had 2 years ago, his second year, he had a little over 4,200 yards. He had 31 touchdowns, passing touchdowns.
It's not bad.
Not bad. But and I don't know. I don't know what he finished that year in terms of like QB what. But he didn't really add much in terms of rushing that year. He actually did pretty well last year. He had 300 yards, 5 touchdowns. Probably just by necessity of having to run. A lot of guys are putting him around like QB 12, somewhere in there, maybe 11, 12, 13. I think that's probably fair. I think, I think he's one of those little guys, he's spunky but I just don't see. I mean, he and Ayuk had a crazy connection that year. They had Debo Samuel. They had George Kittle, and then George Kittle's still there, although his health always scares me. McCaffrey's always kind of sketchy. So I think Purdy's fine. I would be shocked if he ended up as a, top 7 quarterback or something. I think if you're just hoping he's going to be like fringe top 10, maybe sneak inside the top 10, I think that's possible. I think that's his ceiling.
Well, that's not great news for me, but
I could be wrong.
Well, I mean, in some ways it's not bad because I got him. I got to keep him in my keeper league. I got to keep him for like 15th round pick. So
yeah,
I got him off the waiver wire like several years ago and just sort of kept him since then. So it's not so bad. But in leagues like this, where I got him like 3rd pick.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Not great.
Well, I mean, the one thing you kind of can say for him is, this is his 4th year.
Yeah.
He showed a lot of promise in his second year, and then last year was just a weird year for San Francisco. Ayuk I think Ayuk missed, basically all the year after, he held out. He got that big contract, hurt himself. Debo wasn't the same. Had these young guys they tried to bring along. McCaffrey was out. So
it was a tough year for them.
It was a tough year for them. And, you could, I think the glass is half full take on it is, okay, maybe he gets back to more of like year 2 and takes a little step beyond that or something. We'll see.
Well, we're wrapping up, but you still have a lot of time. And I just wanted to get, who are some of the guys that you are curious about, like that you are, that you'd like to sort of highlight?
Oh gosh.
That we haven't talked about, of course.
Right.
Any particular rookies or quarterbacks?
Well, I mean, living in Denver, I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with Bo Nix in year 2. I think, if their offense can stay healthy, they're going to have a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
They also have a great defense. So, how much they need to score is a question. But I mean, you look at, the way Sean Payton was in New Orleans, and man, they love to put points on people, whether they had a good defense or not. So
it's kind of interesting, right? That they have such a shutdown defense for a Sean Payton team. That's not his MO, is it? To have a,
well, not exactly, but you got to think like, I mean, he's just now entering year 3. So he just basically inherited most of that team apart from Bo Nix, who he really wanted Bo Nix. So they have a good GM who's really kind of focused on the defensive side of the ball and has done a great job, with that.
Yeah. For years.
So what's that?
For years, they've had a good defense.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm really curious to see what Bo Nix does. Is he going to be like the second coming of Drew Brees? Now that teams have had a year to try to, watch film and figure him out, is he going to take a step back? And there's a couple of young players on that offense. Troy Franklin, who was a teammate of Bo Nix in Oregon. He slipped in the draft the same year that Bo came out. And he looked terrible at the combine, and he looked terrible last year in his rookie year. And they traded up in the 4th round to get him. And you thought like, oh my gosh, what a bust of a pick. And then now this year, he looks like a different player. Like I went to their preseason game. He caught 2 touchdowns in the preseason game. And I know it's preseason, but he just looks good now. And so
what's his name again?
Troy Franklin.
Troy Franklin. Okay.
He put a ton of yards up at Oregon, but it was kind of like in the same way that Bo Nix got dismissed for his play at Oregon, like, oh, it's the system and it's the Pac-12 and blah, blah, blah. It was kind of like that for Troy Franklin too. I'm really curious to see what he's going to do this year. I'm really curious to see what Marvin Mims is going to do this year, because they were rolling Marvin Mims out last year as like Debo Samuel, like where it's like, okay, we're going to throw you deep balls. Right. We're going to throw you screens. We're going to let you run the ball, end arounds. And he looked pretty good in that limited, he was just kind of starting to get into it then. So now, after another year, I'm curious to see what he's going to do with that.
Fast too.
He is. Yeah. So is he going to be like, Debo 2.0 or something? So that's curious. Another team I'm curious to see more from the fantasy standpoint. I'll throw a couple of teams out, and they're bad teams too, or what we think will be bad teams. I'm curious to see what some of the Titans fantasy players are going to look like.
Yeah,
because you can get Calvin Ridley and Tony Pollard for, I think, pretty relative bargains.
I have a ton of Ridley, a ton.
Yeah.
He's also injured. He has that Q tag, so it has really lowered his ADP.
But I mean, they have the Titans. Who else are the Titans going to throw the ball to? Name me another receiver on the Titans. And and kind of the same. I mean, Tony Pollard, Spears is out for the first 4 games
Yeah.
at least. So again, maybe it's a bad team, but how many running back situations do you see where a guy's just going to get a runway of at least 4 games where he's the guy?
Who's their quarterback? I mentioned him earlier, but I can't remember.
Cam Ward. They drafted
Cam
Cam Ward first
I
overall.
think he's looked really good in the preseason.
Yeah. I mean, he's a rookie. He's going to make a lot of mistakes. But again, if they fall behind in games, that's not necessarily a bad thing for their fantasy players. Yeah. So I'm interested in them. I'm also interested in Cleveland. We talked about them a little bit earlier. We talked about Tillman. We talked about their running backs. But I'm really curious to see if they can get some stable quarterback play, like Jerry Jeudy. Apart from touchdowns last year, Jerry Jeudy,
he was a solid player.
Really good. The Broncos got rid of him because he had attitude issues.
Okay.
But Cleveland doesn't care. They're like, yeah, give us Shedeur Sanders, give us Jerry Jeudy, give us,
give us all your misfits. Yeah,
right. That's right. It's going to be it's like the Adam Sandler. What was the Adam Sandler prison? Like The Longest Yard or something, I don't know if I'm blending movies there, but Cleveland's like, man, look, we're paying Deshaun Watson like $17 billion for the rest of his life. We can't afford to be picky. So
it's almost like Moneyball, but it has to be called something else, like Jail Ball or something.
Right. Right. Yeah. And so, and again, and to their credit, I mean, Sanders and Jeudy haven't had, off-field arrests or anything. Although Sanders did get pulled over for some well over the limit speeding. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen there if they get some solid quarterback play. If guys like Jerry Jeudy, Njoku, and the guys we mentioned earlier, like Tillman and those running backs can be contributors. I'll name one. I'll try to name one last guy, unless I think of another one really quickly here. A guy that I'm really curious to see what he does, because he's really, I think, kind of flying under the radar, sort of, for what he had been this year. He's not really getting a lot of hype. He's just kind of like a mid-level receiver. But I'm really curious to see what DK Metcalf looks like in Pittsburgh with Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, guys, quiet, please. Yeah. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, because, I mean, he's just, again, it kind of goes back to like the whole Calvin Ridley thing of like, who else are they going to throw the ball to? They have tight ends. They got Jonnu Smith and they got, Freiermuth. But, beyond like 8-yard passes to those guys, like, who are you going to throw the ball to? It's DK Metcalf and no one.
But it's different. To me, it's a little different than other who else are you going to throw it to, because it's DK Metcalf. He's a beast of a man. He's a proven like pass catcher. It's not like he's, like Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley also is a good pass catcher, but he's not like the Hulk that what's his name?
Right.
Yeah.
DK. Yeah. DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf.
Yeah. And the knock on him has been, that he's a deep ball guy, but he's had a more limited route tree. And Aaron Rodgers is kind of used to having, for the longest time he had Devontae Adams. Even last year with the Jets, he had, again, Devontae Adams for a good chunk of that. And he had Garrett Wilson, who's a great, young receiver in his own right. He's just had terrible quarterback play with the Jets. But I'm curious to see, like, does Aaron Rodgers push him to try to develop a better route tree. And can they, I think younger Aaron Rodgers absolutely would, and he would make him a better receiver. Aaron Rodgers playing in probably his last season. Can he do that? I don't know. One last guy. I thought of one last guy. This will be the last guy.
Okay.
And I'll ask you on this one. So last year, his rookie year, he was some sort of level of a disappointment. He was okay, but not for being the first receiver taken and not the hype he was getting. Marvin Harrison Jr., what does he do this year?
I have a lot of Marvin Harrison. I'll tell you this. I think that last year I just feel like there was some weird stuff going on with Arizona that is getting ironed out this year. Or it maybe not, but it could easily get ironed out this year. Right. I think he's an excellent player. I think that oh crap, what's his QB?
Quarterback?
Yeah.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I think Kyler is a great player. I think that he was coming off an injury last year and coming into he was coming off an injury, and Kyler, and he was coming.
Right.
He was coming into it was. I don't know. It wasn't his team at the at the beginning of the year, and I think him and Marvin Harrison had a little bit of disconnect. It looks like in the preseason that they are back on track. I think Marvin Harrison dominates this year. I wouldn't be surprised if next year everybody's saying, first round draft Marvin Harrison. Yeah.
I really don't know how that's going to go. And again, it's not a knock against Marvin Harrison. It's more of the Kyler Murray thing, because the thing that frustrates me even more so than Marvin Harrison is Trey McBride, who, is getting drafted as like number 1 or number 2 overall tight end, usually behind Bowers, but some people have him ranked number 1.
Yeah. He caught
111 balls last year.
It's a lot.
He had 1,146 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns. The year before that, and I'll tell you the theory on why this is, and I think this is accurate. So the year before that, he caught 81 balls, 825 yards. I mean, again, like that's, if you have the touchdowns, that's like good enough for like, top tight end numbers or, top whatever. He caught 3 touchdowns that year. I think the problem, I've seen someone say this, and I said, I absolutely agree with that, is, like Kyler Murray's like 5'10". And when you get in the red zone where a tight end is catching, most of their touchdowns, they're not usually catching them off deep balls or anything like that.
Right.
And you've got how are you going to get touchdowns when you've got a 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" quarterback who can see over the line and dunk the ball over? Absolutely.
I think, to your point, I think that's why Marvin Harrison is going to do better than McBride.
Right.
Because if they're going to win, if they're going to win games, if they're going to put points on the board, it's going to be the long ball. It's going to be yards after catch for Marvin Harrison. Maybe Trey McBride as well, but more likely his wide receivers.
Right. Yeah, I think so, because I mean, Kyler Murray's not going to grow 4 inches, so I mean, when
it's true,
when you're again, it doesn't matter if you've got a big target as a tight end in the red zone. If you've got a line that you can't see over, that you have to scramble out to so I'm afraid, as long as Trey McBride is tied to Kyler Murray, it's always going to be this sort of what if and this wasted potential where he's racking up catches, he's racking up yards, and then he's got like 2, 3, 4 touchdowns,
Yeah, unfortunately, I think you're right. I mean, for the Trey McBride people, but for me and Marvin Harrison, I mean, even there, I think it's going to be difficult. Now, who knows? I would like to go back and see what Kyler's numbers were back before the injury because I think he was actually doing pretty good yards wise. But he was also running a lot, which doesn't help either Marvin Harrison or McBride. But
Well,
anyways, that's a good question though. That was a good team to watch for fantasy. Could be
Yeah.
bonanza, you know.
potentially. The other thing with Kyler Murray is he always his numbers always decline in the second half. Because he ends up getting so banged up, I mean, again, just being a smaller guy that he's always banged up towards the end of the year. And, maybe next time we're on, I can pull up those splits of, what it looks like in X month versus, whatever. But, he does, it does seem like he tends to struggle more and maybe not in fantasy purposes. I don't know. But I know in real life, the Cardinals do tend to struggle towards the end of the year.
They sort of decline. Now, the good news for owners of the Cardinals is that their schedule looks pretty good. They have a pretty good schedule. They have the Saints. 49ers are going to be difficult, right? 49ers are always a good defense. But then the Titans, I don't think they're going to be anything. Packers are going to be tough defense. Then the Seahawks. How do you feel about the Seahawks defense this year? Last year they weren't anything great.
Yeah, I have not honestly followed them closely enough to know how many improvements they made on defense from last year to this year. I would really just be pulling something out of thin air.
Well, I think it really, I mean, if the Seahawks they play the Seahawks, they're in the same division, right? So they're playing them twice.
You're talking about the Cardinals and the Seahawks, or
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, they're in the same. They're both NFC West, so yeah.
And then they play the Cowboys. I don't think Cowboys have anything of a defense. Oh, and the Colts. Colts don't have a great defense.
No.
Jaguars, Buccaneers might be difficult. Texans, Rams might be difficult, but pretty much it's
right. No, that doesn't sound like an intimidating schedule. Yeah.
Yeah. So it could be. I mean, this could be the bonanza year for the Cardinals. I'm glad you brought them up because I think it'd be good trade targets. Cardinals.
Yeah. I for sure like Marvin Harrison at taking a chance on him where he is. Trey McBride, again, he's expensive versus Bowers and Kittle. If you're going to spend that money, I mean, you can spend it and hope that these touchdown numbers have just been a fluke.
No, but I think the better way to go is if you think that Marvin Harrison and McBride are going to do well, get Kyler. I mean, if they're going to do well, Kyler's got to do well, right?
Yeah.
Might as well he's so cheap right now.
Right.
Off the waiver wire.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and especially if he's, running the ball in, and all that sort of thing. Yeah. I mean, he does. Trying to see what he had rushing wise last year. Well, again, last year was kind of a weird year.
It was a weird year.
Let's see. So again, it's one of those things where his second year, and again, this might not bode well for you with Brock Purdy having a great second year. Kyler Murray's second year, he rushed for 819 yards and 11 touchdowns. I'd forgotten how good he was and he was throwing the ball well. He, threw for nearly 4,000. He came up 29 yards short of 4,000. He threw for 26 touchdowns plus those 11 rushing. And yeah, I can't remember what he was going in drafts, but I think he was going pretty high then. And then, he's basically been like he jumped back up a little bit last year. But he's basically, well, he's also been hurt.
Yeah.
But those rushing numbers have, come back down to earth. So
Yeah, running quarterbacks, when they get hurt, they really plummet the running yards. Well, I've got to go. I'm keeping my kids up with my talking. I better let you go. And
they gotta get used to the world sometime. Know that the world's not fair. It's always going to be stacked against them. They gotta learn to overcome challenges at some point.
That's true. That is true. But I gotta get to bed too.
It was great to.
Yeah, it's good to have you back on the podcast, man. Being talking about these things and getting your takes is really it's fun.
It is. I've missed it. So hopefully
let's try to do at least once a week this year.
Yeah. I think that's doable for me. Yeah.
Okay. All right, brother. Well, have a good night.
All right. Thanks for everything. And I'll see you in week 1 if I don't see you. Yeah, no, I don't know if we'll be doing this before. Yeah, games start this weekend or this coming weekend. Yeah, because we're Monday.
If you Thursday is the first game, right?
Thursday is the first game. Yeah. So I'm in Salt Lake City tonight. I'll be in Las Vegas the rest of the week. So I can't do another one this week. So but this is Monday, so this could count as our one for this week.
That's right.
And then I could do it the following week.
Well, how about this? I'll get AJ Herschel on, and then maybe all three of us can come back week 2.
That sounds good. That sounds
all right.
good.
Have a good night. Have a fun trip. All your travels. Safe travels.
Yep, will do. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.